we move on to discuss the Golden State Warriors. Um, they have started off 8-2 on the season. They find themselves third in the Western Conference, or really tied for second in the Western Conference, tied with the Suns, half a game behind the Thunder that they actually beat on Sunday. Um, that they beat on Sunday, but yeah, they've had a really good start to their season. They're 8-2. They had a 5-game road stretch in which they finished 4-1. They got some really impressive wins in there as well, beating the Celtics, beating OKC. But but yeah, there's after the first few games, there was some hesitation from a few people out there to really be on the Golden State is the elite train. Not elite, but Golden State is legit train. But I think this OKC victory, because that a Boston game, yeah, that was a big game going up against Boston, rematch of the finals a few years ago. But that Celtics team was missing the finals MVP, was missing Kristaps Porzingis. Not a full strength Boston Celtics team. Tatum played, Derek White played, Drew Holiday played. Drew Holiday, only had 6 points. But yeah, it was not a full string Boston Celtics team, and the Warriors did pull it out on the road, which is impressive. But I think this win over OKC was more impressive in the fact that they did it against an OKC team that's looked really, really good this season. Now, Chet Holmgren, again, I'm talking about them not being the Celtics not being 100%. OKC wasn't 100%. Chet Holmgren had a pelvis fracture, which is after a really hard fall, which sounds very, very painful. But yeah, after he wasn't able to play, he got injured 5 minutes into the game. And obviously that changes the game when they, defensively for OKC, when they don't have Chet Holmgren, when they don't have his length. He's the anchor of that team defensively. And I thought Golden State Warriors had a tremendous amount of success attacking the basket with that length not being there. Being able to go small as well to match with OKC's small ball lineup, the versatility Golden State had to be able to match up with them. And they were able to move the ball well, had over 35 assists. I thought the Warriors played some excellent basketball. Defensively, they are they are the fourth best team in the league based on defensive rating. That will work. That will work. Yes, we're only 10 games into the season. 10 games into the season. But something that's been a common denominator amongst Golden State Warriors and their championship contending teams, defensively, they're always in the top 5. And this Golden State Warriors team right now is sitting in 4th place in terms of defensive rating with a 106.6 defensive rating. And that's an important factor when it comes to Golden State in terms of how, and it always starts off obviously with Draymond Green being the defensive anchor of the team, but overall the willingness, how everybody is bought in terms of defending as a unit. What Buddy Hield has been able to do coming into this Golden State Warriors team, he had a really good start to the season. He has died down since with that Cavaliers game, and then he only had managed 8 points, but he has a 48.8 3-point percentage this season. That will work, that kind of shooting, because having that kind of shooting, what that allows, that allows there to be more space, there to be more an emphasis on Buddy Hield, that gives Steph Curry his opportunities to be able to go one-on-one, attack the basket when he gets the opportunity and kick it out when the help comes. Or the fact that, last year, Klay Thompson, he was inconsistent there. You get a 49% shooter opposite of Steph Curry. it is hard to defend that kind of shooting in that backcourt. That is really, really hard. Now, can he manage this percentage? No, throughout, because he is a 43.5 career percent 3-point shooter. But if he can be in that 44-45 range, I think um, I think that'll work. He's averaging 18 points this season. I think he can maintain that because Golden State, they always get the best out of these kind of players. At least we saw what the Warriors were able to do with Jordan Poole, with Andrew Wiggins, Steve Kerr, and the way that this organization is operated. They're able to squeeze out every bit that they can get out of you. And I think the Warriors are going to be able to do exactly that with Buddy Hield. I think he'll be a very important part. I think this Warriors team has depth as well. With Draymond, with Trace Jackson Davis, who by the way didn't even play a majority of this game because they wanted to go a little bit different, go a little bit more small, give more minutes to Gary Payton. In this one, but this Warriors team, they have players that can make an impact. They have the shooting of D'Anthony Melton as well, who's been shooting. He's a 41% 3-point shooter this season. He's only been 38%, or 37%. No, not the end. He's a. I'm reading the field. He's a 37% career shooter. He's been shooting 38% from three this season, which is solid. You have Jonathan Kuminga, who early on in his career I thought he would be could be an impact player. I started to lose a little bit of belief in him. He was that 7th overall pick, but and there is a little questions on his future with Golden State. There's some trade deal and all that. But what he does is he can help you push the floor, and you can play a more transitional game with Jonathan Kuminga. He has that athleticism to go up and down, and he has good stature to him. Let's see whether the Warriors decide to keep him, whether the Warriors, if they can turn that into an asset that can help Golden State Warriors improve right now, they'll only get even better. They have a good balance of being able to attack the basket, being able to shoot the three. They're defensively a well-oiled machine. This is a team that looks very comparable to the 2022 team. The 2022 team didn't have that second superstar. Yes, Clay was involved in that team, but he wasn't a second superstar player in that team. But what they were able to get the best out of players like Andrew Wiggins, who was good for a few games, Jordan Poole, who was good for a few games, Clay was good for a few games. I think you have that here with the likes of Andrew Wiggins. He had 18 against OKC. You got the likes of Buddy Hield as well. I think this team is pretty underrated. Steph Curry, he's been playing as an elite level this season, only averaging 22 points this season, yes, but I thought I think overall he's playing some really, really good basketball. He was out for a few games as well, and I thought Warriors, I believe the Warriors finished 3-0 in those games, which it shows the depth of this Warriors team. When Steph Curry is out, the fact that, what happened in years past when Steph Curry has been out, they have looked horrible. They don't look like a team that can manage any sort of offense. In those 3 games, they're averaging, with the Pelicans, Rockets, and Warriors, I believe they're averaging a little less than, I think it's 119 points a game or something. That's really, really good with how much of a percentage that Steph Curry is of their offense in years past. Right now, they're able to get production out of Buddy Hield, out of Kuminga, out of Podziemski, out of Andrew Wiggins. I believe Draymond had a 14-point game against the Rockets as well. And then against the Pelicans, they were able to get some offense out of Lindy Waters. different guys are being able to. I think Moses Moody had a 17-point game somewhere in there as well. They've been able to get offense out of role players. So, look, are the Warriors a team that's going to, you know, go to the finals or anything? No, I don't believe so. I think that's a little irresponsible. But they're proving this team has some depth. And, if you're a team like the Mavericks, who've had a pretty mediocre start to their season, 5-5, or the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Suns, because I think the Suns have been really, really good. OKC. I think you'd be slightly alarmed of Golden State. I think you'd be slightly alarmed of Golden State. But again, I want to see it against high level opposition. Again, the two wins that they have against good teams have been against teams that have been shorthanded. Now they're gonna have a few tests. In these upcoming games, they play the Mavericks. Clay's return. That's obviously gonna be a big emotional game. That's gonna be a test for them. I believe after that they have the Grizzlies. So I like to see them more against opposition, with quality oppositions, with playoff potential opposition. But yeah, right now I'd be a little alarmed if I was outside. If I was outside. If I was in the one of the upper echelon teams in the Western Conference.